Hi everyone, in this video I will explain the film called Final Destination Bloodlines. Final Destination Bloodlines is an American supernatural horror film released on 16 May 2025. The story of this supernatural horror film begins with a view of a train track, and the year is 1968. Then a red car drives quickly, passing the train tracks. A young couple, Iris Campbell and her fiancé Paul, are inside the car. They are on their way to attend the opening ceremony of the Skyview, which is a high-rise restaurant tower. While Paul was driving the car to the Skyview restaurant, he also wanted to surprise Iris. So he binds the eyes of Iris with a cloth. After reaching there, Iris gets very excited when seeing the tall Skyview restaurant. At that time, a naughty boy tried to steal a coin from the fountain water. A security guard saw the boy and told him not to steal the coin from the fountain water because it would bring bad luck. But the boy secretly steals a coin and puts it in his pocket. Then the boy enters the restaurant. Iris and Paul also enter the Skyview restaurant, but before they go up, a picture is taken with a view of the tower for commercial purposes for this restaurant. Then they enter the elevator and go to the top of the Skyview restaurant. The elevator operator told them that this restaurant is 494 feet tall and weighs over 9,000 tons. It is made of steel, reinforced concrete, and glass. While going up, Iris got scared after seeing the glass floor of the elevator. Meanwhile, the naughty boy jumps on the glass floor of the elevator to scare Iris. Finally, they reach the top of the Skyview restaurant. They enter inside the restaurant, and there is a live kitchen in the very center of the restaurant. Paul asked the restaurant manager if he had a reservation, but the manager told him they were already over capacity. So they cannot accommodate him and further told Paul to step aside. After that, Iris and Paul decide to walk near the glass wall of the restaurant, where everything below is visible. Iris looked down and got scared because she had never been this high up before. Paul told her, this night is turning into such a disaster where he thought it to be perfect. But Iris replied, it is perfect. Then she took a rose from a table and placed it in Paul's pocket. But her finger starts bleeding because of the pricking of the thorn on his finger. This tells her that something bad is about to happen to them. Then, they tried to drink champagne, but after Paul returned with the glass of champagne, Iris felt pain in her stomach. So she walks to the ladies' room. While she was walking, a lot of people were partying and dancing. She also found out that some part of the restaurant's floor was made of glass. While looking below the glass floor, she is about to vomit. So she ran quickly to the ladies' room. Meanwhile, a champagne bottle cork is popped and hits the chandelier, making a part of it loose. Then a pointed part of the chandelier falls on the glass floor and creates a crack in it. The singer finishes her song and comes in the back to meet her child. Then she finds Iris trying not to be sick. Seeing this, the singer understood that Iris was pregnant. Iris told the singer that she has been pregnant for about 1 or 2 months, but her fiancé, Paul, still doesn't know about it. The singer told Iris to tell the truth to her fiancé, Paul, because he will be very happy after hearing she is pregnant. After a few moments, Paul came near Iris and told her to get some fresh air. So, he brought her to the top view terrace of the restaurant. There Iris sees the naughty boy from earlier, trying to throw the coin from the top, but was stopped by a security guard. Meanwhile, Paul proposes to Iris for marriage. Iris gets excited and accepts his marriage proposal. She also told him that she is pregnant, and hearing that, Paul was very happy. As they leave, the little naughty boy throws the coin from the top, but instead of falling on the ground, the vacuum pressure from the AC outdoor unit drew it inside. The coin then jams a fan and stops it from spinning. While inside the restaurant, everyone who came to the party is dancing. When they are dancing, their feet stomp on the glass part of the floor and cause more cracks in it. But nobody notices it because they are all having fun. Then the restaurant floor was starting to shake. Meanwhile, the jam fan starts spinning again inside the AC duct and moves out of the airflow of the fan. At that time the coin that was stuck earlier inside the fan comes out from there and goes to another place. Then the coin hit a pipe and started leaking gas inside the restaurant. While all the people are dancing inside the restaurant, Iris has a feeling that something bad is about to happen. Then suddenly the glass floor inside the restaurant collapsed, and a bunch of people started falling down below. Iris was standing in the stable spot and was able to save herself. Paul caught a piece of glass that was hurting his hands. But he still couldn't save himself and fell down and died. Everyone is panicking and running inside the restaurant, causing an old lady to be engulfed in flames from the chef's hot pan. She runs to the place where the gas is leaking out, and then it explodes, setting the restaurant on fire. Many of them are burned and killed. The singer hides her son in a cabinet, but she too is burned by the fire. Iris also hides under the piano table and saves herself. Everyone is trying to escape, but no one's making it very far. They try to escape using the stairs, but it collapses, killing some of them. Though the naughty boy that threw the coin is able to escape down the stairs before it collapses. To save herself, Iris came to the elevator, which was completely full of people. Due to overweight, the elevator gets damaged and drops down with many people inside it. While a man gets crushed under the elevator and ends his life in a very terrible way. Seeing all this, Iris screams with fear. The remaining surviving people were running inside the restaurant to escape from the fire. At that time, half part of the restaurant started leaning on one side. Then, except for Iris, all the people fall down on the leaning side of the restaurant and get stuck against the glass windows. Only a piano had maintained the balance of this half part of the restaurant. When things look calm, that cursed coin falls down and drops on top of the piano. The balance loses and the piano slides and falls right into a woman and smashes through the windows and kills a lot of people. On ground below, the naughty boy has escaped and is running away laughing. But the piano from the above restaurant falls on him, and the coin falls in the fountain water. A moment later, the half part of the restaurant also fell down, leaving Iris as the last person alive except for one. The son of the singer came out from the cabinet. Iris takes him and tries to escape together, but the floor below her starts cracking. Then the entire Skyview restaurant broke and falls below. Iris, along with the son of the singer, hangs on the top for a moment with her ring in the middle of two iron rods. But her hand was wounded, and the ring was taken off. Then Iris and the son of the singer also fell down and died. At that moment, a college student, Stepini Reyes, suddenly woke up and screamed in her classroom. It seems that while Stepini was falling asleep in her classroom, she was having the dream about the disaster that happened at the Skyview restaurant in 1968. So, in the present day, the college student Stepini was sitting in her classroom, and because of her screaming, everyone in the classroom got disturbed. When her professor asked her about this, Stepini told him that she kept getting such hallucinations and scary visions. She returned home, and at night, she woke up screaming after seeing this scary dream about the collapse of the Skyview restaurant. It turns out that Stepini's been having this same dream every time she falls asleep. She realized that the dreams are linked to her maternal grandmother, who is called Iris. Her roommate also advised her to go and talk to her family about this dream. So, the next day, she returns to her house to seek answers and to stop the dreams. After reaching home, she is greeted by her father Marty. Then she asked her father about the box that contained her mother Darlene's old stuff, like photos, an address book, and phone numbers. Her father, Marty, told her that he got rid of those boxes after her mother, Darlene, left the house a long time ago. Stepini also meets with her younger brother Charlie. Then both went to their Uncle Howard's house, who was their mother's elder brother. The reason Stepini wants to go to her uncle's house is to ask them about the details about her grandmother Iris. After reaching Uncle Howard's home, Stepini and Charlie meet with their cousins Eric, Julia, and Bobby. Then Stepini met with her aunt Brenda and asked where Uncle Howard is. Brenda called Howard, who is cutting grass using a lawn mower. Howard came inside the house, and he is happy to see Stepini and hug her. After that, Stepini asks Uncle Howard about her grandmother Iris. Her uncle gets angry at Stepini after hearing her mother's Iris name. Uncle Howard explains that his mother, Iris, is considered crazy by the family. After his father, Paul, died, Iris locked him and his younger sister, Darlene, who is also Stepini's mother, inside the house. Iris was overprotective and obsessed over keeping her children, Howard and Stepini's mother, Darlene, safe. Then Howard and Darlene were taken away by the state, saying their mother, Iris, was a dangerous person, and her children needed to stay away from her. Because of this, after having children, Stepini's mother, Darlene, had a mental breakdown, and she abandoned her family. Later Iris left her children and started living on an island, and she never came to meet them. But when Howard and Darlene have children, Iris starts sending them letters that are full of disturbing pictures of dead bodies. After saying all this to Stepini, Uncle Howard left the room. Then, Stepini asked Aunt Brenda, where are those letters sent from Iris? Aunt Brenda helped her and told her the place where the letters sent by Iris are kept. Stepini finds many letters from Iris, including a photo that Paul and Iris had captured in front of the Skyview restaurant when they were young. Seeing this, Stepini was very shocked because this picture proved that her dream may be a real incident of the past. After knowing the address from the letter, Stepini went to the deserted island to meet her grandmother Iris. Finally she reaches a fortified house where Iris now live. The house is also surrounded by all kinds of dangerous junk. The main gate of the house is remotely controlled by Iris from inside the house. In the security camera, Stepini introduced herself telling she is the granddaughter of Iris. Then Iris opens the gate and tells her to come inside the house. Iris was also very excited to see Stepini for the first time. She hasn't left the fortified house in 20 years and is controlling her environment, making it hard for death to come for her. She asks Stepini about her mother, Darlene. Stepini tells her that her mother had left them while she was 10 years old. Iris asks her granddaughter Stepini why she came here. Stepini replied that she is actually here because she has been dreaming about the Skyview restaurant for the past 2 months. In the dreams, the glass floor of the restaurant breaks, and then there is an explosion. Everyone was dying, and at last Iris fall and died. She has this dream every day and night. Iris reveals that the dream Stepini is having wasn't just a dream. It was her premonition or feeling that something bad was about to happen at the Skyview restaurant on that day in 1968. Iris further said that, years ago, at the Skyview restaurant, she got a glimpse into the future and saw what death was about to do. That day, she had taken the coin from that naughty boy's hand to stop him from throwing it, because if she had not stopped the coin from being thrown below, the whole incident would have happened. Then she came inside the restaurant and covered the pan for the fire. She also knew that the glass floor of the restaurant was about to break. That's why she went on stage and told everyone in the microphone to get off the glass floor because it was going to collapse. Because of this, people left the glass floor earlier, and in this way, many people were saved from death. Surprisingly, Stepini asks Iris, "Did you save everyone's life at the Skyview restaurant on that day?" Iris replied because of those visions or premonition. On that day she was able to save a lot of lives, but those lives were never meant to be saved. Thus, Iris disrupted death's design by preventing the tower from collapsing on that day. She saves everyone's life by deceiving death. As a result, death comes back to take the lives of those people that were supposed to die at the Skyview restaurant on that day. Then death started playing games and began killing the survivors in the order they would have died at the Skyview restaurant on that day. Death also killed the children of those survivors who were never meant to exist. Because if those people had died in that incident, their children would not have been born. Later, death also took Iris's husband, Paul, in an accident. Since then, Iris started documenting death's omens in a book and lived in isolation for 20 years, just to prevent it from going after her family. Iris further said to Stepini that if she died, then death would kill your mother, Darlene, your brother, Charlie, and even you. But as long as she is alive, nothing will happen to them. Stepini asks, so why is she getting these visions? Iris replied, now she cannot escape from death because it is giving her cancer. So the vision she saw earlier now might be transferred to Stepini. Then, Iris wants to teach Stepini what to do and how to survive death, because it's going to be coming for the family next, that is, the bloodline of Iris. So she gave the book to Iris, in which the details of survivors of that incident were present as to how they died later. Their stories were written in the book, and also the ways in which death can be deceived. All this sounds crazy to Stepini, and she finds this book to be nonsense. So, she did not take this book and wants to leave the house as soon as possible. There's only one thing Iris can do to convince her granddaughter Stepini. She had not come out of this house for years. But now she decided to come in front of death to save her children. So she came out of the house and gave that book of research to Stepini. She said to Stepini that death will come after you now, and to save yourself from it, you will have to use this book. Still, Stepini did not believe her words. So, Iris said to Stepini to step back and see her own death. Immediately, a weather vane falls off the roof, then hits a tank of compressed air, making an iron road to fly and hit through Iris's head from behind, covering Stepini in blood. And thus Iris dies right in front of Stepini. Iris did this to protect her family because she would have died of cancer, and her family would have no idea what was coming for them. In this way, she gave the book to Stepini and gave them a chance of survival. Now Stepini began to believe Iris's words. After Iris's funeral, Stepini's mother, Darlene, who is also the daughter of Iris, shows up for the first time after many years. But Stepini got angry at her mother, Darlene, for being absent since childhood, and she left the place. Stepini returned home and started looking at the book given to her by Iris. The wind starts blowing outside the house. She finds the cursed coin taped inside the book. The book is spilled out on the floor, encouraging her to study, research, and look at all the ways that people can meet their death in the future. At that moment a photo frame smashes on the floor, and a piece of glass slides out towards her. Something is showing her that danger is coming, and a piece of glass may be the result of someone's death. Stephanie knew that something bad was going to happen, and she quickly came to her uncle's home to prevent any accidents. Meanwhile, her entire family was partying at Uncle Howard's home. At the party, it is shown that the game of death had begun. First, Bobby broke a glass cup, and a piece of the broken glass fell into the ice. He cleans the broken glasses but fails to notice the piece of the broken glass in the ice. Eric light up the propane tank going under a barbecue grill. At that time Darlene also came to the party. Everyone tried to greet her. Eric kept his beer bottle above some bricks near the barbecue grill. Darlene brought some cookies and gave them to Charlie. The cookies contain peanut butter, and after knowing that, Bobby got scared because he is allergic to food containing peanut butter. Then everyone was taking ice, but one of the glass cups already contained the broken piece of glass. The eldest member of the family, Howard, told everyone that his mother, Iris, lived alone until the day she died, and her death should be a reminder to all of us to enjoy life and spend the time that we have together. After that, Howard told his younger sister Darlene to stay with them in his house. But Darlene says her children are better off without her. Meanwhile, Bobby and Charlie are jumping on the trampoline with a sharp rake pointing upward under it. Stephanie knew something bad was going to happen in her family. So he calls Charlie, but he is not receiving her call. Everyone in the party also encourages Howard to show his backflip on the trampoline. The piece of broken glass is seen inside Stephanie's father Marty's glass cup, and he placed the glass cup on top of a table. Then Howard also climbs up the trampoline and is about to jump. At that moment, Darlene sees the sharp rake and removes it from under the trampoline. She places the rake near other tools on a wall. At that time Brenda placed a container near the barbecue grill, which resulted in hitting the beer bottle left by Eric earlier. The beer bottle fell and hit the start button of a vacuum cleaner. The tube then starts vibrating, making the tools fall on the ground one after another. At last Stephanie reached Uncle Howard's house and rushed to the party. Howard sees her and wants to greet her. So he came down the trampoline and walked near Stephanie. At that time Bobby falls and rips the trampoline. This distracts Julia, who knocks the Jenga over the table. The block then tips the glass cup that has the broken piece of glass, and it comes out onto the grass. While Howard walks to greet Stephanie, one of his feet steps on the broken piece of glass, and he falls backwards onto the ground. At that moment, the rake that Darlene kept on the wall fell and hit the start button of the lawn mower that is used to cut grass. The machine starts and moves towards Uncle Howard's face and kills him by crushing his whole face. With this terrible death, everyone was very scared. After Uncle Howard's funeral, Stephanie read the book given to her by Iris. She carefully studies the pattern in which death will kill the remaining family members because she knows that Uncle Howard's death was not an accident, but done by death. She decides to share her findings from Iris's book with the rest of the family to try to protect them, but they don't believe her. They think Stephanie is crazy. But she continues to try to convince them, talking about the rules of death and the order in which death will kill them. She told them that even after saving many lives on that day by Iris, death began to target all those who survived in the order they would have died at the Skyview restaurant. Death completely killed them and their children, and now only their family and the family of another boy were alive. Stephanie tells them death will come for her family members in the order of the bloodline, that is, first her grandmother Iris died, then Iris' eldest son Uncle Howard. In this way, after the death of Uncle Howard, his eldest son, Eric, is next, then Julia, and then Bobby. After killing Uncle Howard's children, death will come for her mother, Darlene, then death will come for her, at last, her younger brother Charlie. But Stephanie told everyone that Uncle Howard's wife, Brenda, and her dad, Marty, will not be targeted by death because Brenda and Marty are not the bloodline or blood relatives of Iris. Everyone listened to Stephanie, but no one believed her. Aunt Brenda and Julia got angry with Stephanie because they think she is making fun of Howard's death. Then Brenda and her children left the house. Before leaving, Stephanie told Eric that he is the eldest son of Howard. So death will come for him, and he should be careful. But Eric does not listen to her and left the house. Even Stephanie's mother, Darlene, does not believe her. So, Stephanie got angry and left the room, saying she does not need a mother. That night, Howard's eldest son, Eric, is working in his piercing shop. He finishes his work and closes his shop. Stephanie sends a message to him asking if he is okay. Eric replies he is fine. After that, as a memory of his father, he listens to a sad song and turns on the volume very high. Then he gets a portrait tattooed on his hand to remember his father. Because of the vibration from the loudspeaker, some glass fell from the table and crashed on the floor. At this time, he was wearing a piercing in his nose. When he tried to pick up the broken glass from the floor, suddenly a ceiling fan chain fell and got caught in his nose piercing. The chain got stuck with the ceiling fan, and as the fan rotated, the chain also started twisting. Eric tried to free the chain from his nose piercing, but it led to setting the place on fire. After some time, he frees himself from that chain, but falls into the fire below. There was a lot of kerosene below. When the fire came into contact with kerosene, it led to an explosion inside the shop. The fire caught the shop, and it is not sure if he survived or not. The next morning, Stephanie told Charlie that Eric had not picked up her call. Then both came to meet with Eric. On the way, they came to know that last night a fire broke out in Eric's piercing shop. But he comes in front of their car and stops them. Stephanie and Charlie were surprised after knowing Eric is fine. He did not get any injury except to his arm. Eric told them that he survived the fire due to wearing his leather jacket. Still, Stephanie worried about Eric's safety and wanted to protect him. But Eric does not believe her word about death coming to kill him. At that moment, a high-speed truck almost hit Eric on the road and shocked him. But it does not harm him. Seeing this, Eric says to Stephanie that nothing will happen to him. But Stephanie told him that just because death didn't kill him last night doesn't mean he is safe. As they are walking along the street, she sees patterns of danger everywhere and tries to warn him. Stephanie sees a tree trimmer and tells Eric to stay away from it. Charlie asked her how a tree trimmer was going to kill Eric. She replied, the tree trimmer could fall and hit the leaf blower guy, which may cause him to blow dust into the kid's eyes, and then the kids might kick the soccer ball into his face. Hearing a soccer ball might hit his face, Eric mocks her openly, saying, that does sound deadly. Then a garbage truck passes near them. Stephanie again tells Eric to stay away from the garbage truck. But he goes and hugs the garbage truck and says nothing really happens to him. At that time Julia came near them and asked Eric what had happened last night. After that she goes for a jog and is running towards the garbage truck. And everything that Stephanie just said happens to Julia. She ends up in a trash bin and is lifted into a garbage truck. The three of them also witness this happening. They go and try to stop the garbage truck quickly. Stephanie climbs on top of that truck to save Julia. But Julia is crushed to death by the garbage truck's compactor. After that, everyone was depressed because of her death. Charlie says to Stephanie that she was right. But at this time, Stephanie did not believe her assumption. Because she was thinking that the eldest son of Howard, Eric, should have died, but instead Julia was killed by death. Then her Aunt Brenda revealed a big truth, saying it was her fault because Eric was not Howard's biological son, and that's why Eric survived, and instead Julia died. This means that Eric isn't a part of the bloodline of Iris, and he isn't targeted by death. But Julia died because she was the real eldest child of Howard. Listening to this, everyone was shocked. Eric got angry at his mother, Brenda, for hiding this secret and walked out of the room. Now, the family starts believing everything that Stephanie told them earlier. They realize that death is coming for them in order of age, starting with Iris's eldest son Howard's branch of the family, before moving on to Darlene and her children. Marty and Brenda are spared, as they are not blood relatives, and Eric is spared due to being the result of Brenda's affair with another man. So, with Julia dead, her younger brother Bobby is next. He says to Stephanie to help him because he doesn't want to die. Stephanie told Bobby that she wanted to save him, but she didn't know what's going to happen next. Then Charlie says to Stephanie that she predicted exactly what's going to happen next, and it was like there were pieces of puzzle, and she just had to put them together. Now they're trying to work on how to protect Bobby because he is the next target by death. Stephanie reads Iris's book and sees a reference to someone Iris knew named JB, who found someone that defeated death. They decide to track down this mystery person mentioned in the Iris book named JB, and to see if he knew how to trick or stop death. But Stephanie has no idea who this person JB is. Darlene remembers when she was a child her mother, Iris, talked about JB working at a hospital called Hope River Hospital. Then they all decide to go to the Hope River Hospital to meet JB. After reaching the hospital, they search for JB and call his name. At first, JB gets surprised to hear them because this name was called only to him by Iris. At last, they meet with JB, and he tells them that his actual name is William John Bloodworth, and he has been waiting for them, but he could not see Howard and Julia among them. So he already knew that Howard and Julia were already killed by death. He asked them, which one of you is next? They all pointed their finger at Bobby. They asked JB how he knew Iris. He told them, when the Skyview restaurant incident happened in 1968, he was there. He was the son of the singer. After hearing this, Stephanie remembered the whole vision from her dream and also recognized him. Thus, JB turns out to be the small child that Iris saved at the Skyview restaurant. JB tells that Iris had come to meet him many years ago. They've been in touch ever since, tracking the weird occurrences that have happened when people have avoided death. Iris also wanted to trick death for her husband Paul. But after a lot of effort, they could not save his life. Stephanie asks JB, are there any such people who have escaped from death? He responds, saying the only way to avoid death is to kill or to die. If you kill someone, you get the time that person had left to live. Or if you die and are brought back to life, you avoid death and break the chain. There were already 2 persons who cheated death, but death first killed them, and they died. After a while, they were revived by the efforts of doctors, and after that, death did not chase them. But it's risky to do that, and when someone messes with death, things get very messy. Stephanie requests him to please help them to escape from death. But JB says he can't because he had also cheated death at once after embracing it. Now he is suffering from cancer, just like Iris, and his days are numbered. He is also the last person in the line, and once Stephanie's family dies, he'll be next. He further says that everyone has to die one day, and no one can run away from death. This is our final destination. Before that, we should enjoy our remaining moments. Before he leaves the room, he again says to them that life is precious. So, enjoy every single second because you never know when you will die, and good luck. After JB left the room, the family was very upset because they had no idea what to do next. Then Eric comes up with an idea. His plan is to feed Bobby peanut butter because he is allergic to peanuts. In this way, Bobby could die after eating peanut. Once Bobby is near his death, they would recover him by giving him an anti-allergic injection, or with the help of a doctor. In this way, they can cheat death. But none of the other family members support him because it is very risky. So, Eric secretly took Bobby away from the room and tried to save him with his own idea. He convinces Bobby to employ JB's second strategy to save him from death, where he feeds Bobby a snack containing peanuts. Since Bobby is allergic to peanuts, he will be dead for a few moments. After that, they will take the help of doctors from this hospital to bring him back. They come to the vending machine to buy a peanut butter cups. But the vending machine does not work. Eric was in a hurry, and he tried to take out the peanut butter cups manually. Finally, the peanut butter cups came out of the vending machine, but a spring of the vending machine got loose. After that, Eric took Bobby to an MRI room to hide. He told Bobby to wait inside the MRI room for a moment, while he will bring an anti-allergy injection and a wheelchair. Saying this, he closed the door and left the room. When Eric slammed the door, a file hanging on the wall fell down and pressed some button on the computer keyboard. As a result, the computer starts up and activates the MRI machine. After some time, Eric comes back with a wheelchair inside the MRI room. But Eric bringing a wheelchair inside the room is not a good idea because MRI machine pull metal when placed near it. Charlie called to Bobby, but Eric took the phone away from him. He also took the anti-allergic injector from Bobby. He then told Bobby to sit on the wheelchair and eat the peanut butter cups. After eating the peanut butter cup, Bobby triggered his allergy. He tries to take the anti-allergic injector from Eric, but Eric refuses to give it. At that time the MRI machine powered up. As a result, its magnetic power also increases to a dangerous levels. Because of its high magnetic force, it started pulling all the metallic objects towards it. It pulls Eric's piercings out from all over his body. Then he is pinned to the MRI machine with the wheelchair being magnetically pulled towards it, and his body is squished into it very slowly inside the machine, and he immediately dies there. While that happens, Bobby is still suffering a lot from allergy after eating the peanut butter cups. He still struggles to get the anti-allergic injector from the dead body of Eric. Finally, he is able to get the anti-allergic injector and inject the medicine into his body. The anti-allergic medicine healed him. But a nurse opens the door of the room to check what is going on. Immediately after she opened the door, the loose spring from the vending machine shot out due to the high magnetic force of the MRI machine, and it hit right through the head of Bobby, and in this way, he also died. Now both Eric and Bobby are gone, and Stephanie's mother, Darlene, is next on the list of death. Darlene, Stephanie, and Charlie are grieved because of the death of Eric and Bobby. Charlie asks Stephanie why Eric was killed by death if he isn't a part of the bloodline of Iris. Stephanie replies that his intervention in trying to save Bobby from death put him on the death list too. Then Stephanie tells her mother, Darlene, now it's her turn. She told Darlene that they should stay in the house where Iris used to live. Because Iris also lived at that house for a long time and avoided death. Darlene agrees to lock herself away in Iris's house. So, they decide to drive to Iris's house, intending to hide from death. As they are leaving, the cursed coin falls out of the book that Stephanie was holding. Then an old lady walking on the road picks up the coin and puts it in her purse. Meanwhile, they drive to Iris's house to hide Darlene away in there. After reaching Iris's house, Stephanie's seatbelt gets stuck. Then she asks her mother, Darlene, to go inside the house. Darlene was very worried about her 2 children. But as long as she is alive, nothing can happen to her children. So, Darlene and Charlie decided to walk inside the house, leaving Stephanie alone in the vehicle. But there was already a gas leak, and this place was also sparking with electricity. Due to the electric spark, dry leaves on the roof of the house start burning. Then small pieces of burning leaf float down from the roof into the house. At that moment a plant pot falls and hits a gas valve, thus leaking gas from it. When Darlene opens the door of the house, the burning small pieces of leaf come into contact with the leaking gas, resulting in the explosion of the entire house. In this explosion, Darlene was partially burned, and Charlie is trapped under a part of the house. While the vehicle with Stephanie inside fell into a pond of water. Due to the seatbelt being jammed, she cannot escape and begins to drown in the water. Meanwhile, Darlene is able to free Charlie from the trap and save him. Then she told him to rescue his sister Stephanie from the vehicle. At that moment, a nearby lamppost fell on her, and she died. Charlie had come to know that now it's his elder sister Stephanie's turn to die. To save Stephanie, he quickly enters the vehicle and jumps into the water to try to get her free, but fails, and she starts drowning in the water. A moment later, Charlie breaks the seatbelt and pulls her free and brings her outside the vehicle. He sees that Stephanie had already died. He gives her CPR and saves her life. Her lifeless body after drowning came back to life again. Stephanie and Charlie think they've done what JB has said because she had accepted death, and now they can fool death. They have broken the chain and are safe to continue with their lives. So, they are happy, but Stephanie was full of sorrow after knowing her mother was dead. After a while, they continue to live a normal life. Today was the graduation ceremony of Charlie, and it's time for him to go to a prom and dance with his classmate Jenny. Everyone was getting ready to go there. They are outside Jenny's house. Being excited, Stephanie adjusts the rose in his pocket. At that moment, a rose thorn pricks her finger. Her finger bleeds in the same way, just like blood coming out of Iris's hand at the start of the movie. After seeing this, Stephanie understands that the game of death is going to start again. On the other side, nearby Jenny's house, where the graduation ceremony of Charlie is held, the old lady who picked up the cursed coin is buying a cookie from a child's lemonade stand. As the old lady opens her wallet, that cursed coin falls out of her purse. Then it rolls down the steps and falls on those train tracks. It gets stuck in the middle of the railway junction, preventing it from closing completely. It's the exact same railway track that was shown at the start of the movie. Meanwhile, Jenny's father, who is also a doctor, came to meet with Stephanie and Charlie. He tells Stephanie that Charlie saved her life from drowning, and she is lucky to be alive today. Stephanie replied to the doctor, saying she was so lucky that she came back to life after death. The doctor tells her that she was not actually dead when Charlie revived her from drowning, since her heart never stopped. So, Charlie didn't really bring her back to life from the dead. If a person does not breathe for 5 minutes, that person is considered dead. But she started breathing only after 2 minutes. This condition can be called unconsciousness and not death. Thus, Stephanie was just unconscious for a moment and not actually dead because her heart never stopped. Hearing this, Stephanie and Charlie are shocked because they have not broken the cycle of death. At that moment, the exact same red car that Iris and Paul were driving at the beginning of the movie drives past in the background. Stephanie saw the things around her and started seeing the signs of death making a move. Then the coin getting stuck in the track causes a train to went off the track and come through the trees right for her and Charlie. The train could not slow down its speed and move towards those houses. To save themselves, Stephanie and Charlie both ran away. They run from it, and the train finally stops. They think they've gotten away from it. But the train was carrying logs on the back, which fly over the top and fall onto Stephanie and then Charlie in quick succession. Finally, both of them died. With this, the American supernatural horror film, Final Destination Bloodline, ended with a lesson that we cannot escape death, and one day everyone has to die. Thanks for watching, and I really appreciate it if you've enjoyed the video so far.